I'm here with Brian Guo, who, if he's not the youngest user of Pickaxe, is one of the youngest. It is also one of the most entrepreneurial and ambitious. And Brian reached out to us a couple times wanting help to build his app, Climate Assist, which is super cool. It's one of the coolest apps I've seen on Pickaxe, one of the most complete, and certainly one of the most impactful in the world. So here I'm with Brian, and I was just going to ask him some questions and have him show off Climate Assist. Do you want to introduce yourself quickly, Brian?
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm from San Diego, California. I'm currently in high school in my senior year, and I made the app when I was sophomore summer, like rising junior. Yeah.
And what gave you the idea to make Climate Assist, Brian?
Yeah. So my main impetus for the idea was lots of times I'm trying to always be sustainable with different products and decisions throughout my life, like what to buy, what to do, right? It was always very difficult to tell because there's so many different things that you can possibly buy. You don't know like the hidden facts behind how products are made, and it just like was very difficult because each time I had to look online and Google wasn't really giving me like a definitive answer, right? Because it's always very debatable. You don't know what's going on, right? So I think this app, I wanted to experiment with AI because I saw its potential, its ability to kind of understand and digest the information, and then see if it could help make my decisions and give me a recommendation fast.
That's awesome. Out of curiosity, how did AI make this possible to make this product? Let me rephrase that. How was it possible to make this product with AI that wasn't possible a couple years ago?
Yeah, definitely. So AI, as you know, is very diverse, right? Lots of different things that you can be made with that, right? But one thing about AI is that it's not like as rigid as I think traditional coding in a certain sense. As like coding, you have to code like each like the logic individually, and it's not as like flexible, right? So AI allows for like a very diverse amount of scenarios that you can like take information right from the web that can be very like not clean and like raw data, right? And it can take that and make a decision, give you a recommendation. So in the past, you might have to go off like CO2 databases or like very like, so you'd be limited, right? But now you can go off more general information now. It's not going to be 100% accurate. There's still errors, but gives you a recommendation for how to go about it. And I think 4 years ago, that was not possible, especially as ChatGPT has been released and the LLM field has been progressed more. There's been more and more, the ability of it has improved accuracy as well.
Well, let's talk a little bit about how you built this tool, because I think some people hear that, someone built an AI app and they're like, oh, you just ask AI, what is the climate impact of this? But no, you actually did a lot of work and brought in a lot of different resources to create this tool. Could you quickly go over sort of the stack of how you made this tool, the logic behind it, and sort of pull back the curtain on how the tool works?
Yeah. So behind the tool is run by on the Pickaxe interface. It's made with GPT GPT-4, not GPT-O. It is actually connected to the web browsing feature Pickaxe. That's like the baseline model. And then on top of that, there's like a knowledge base with a lot of different information from websites and databases, like I said, because although it is good to go off the internet and what the AI knows based on its training, you want to give it some definitive data sometimes that it might not be able to find off of browsing. And then it's run by a pretty bulky prompt that basically hyper focuses the AI in aspects of determining the environmental impact. So it has a lot of different factors you'll consider. And then if you give it, and under a curtain, it has, it'll provide you with different ways to compare things. So you can compare like general things like products. You can also compare companies. So and then it'll ask you actually like possibly some more information to give some context, right? Because obviously, if you live in California versus like Sweden, it's going to be a different story. So, and you don't have to provide that information, and then it will browse the internet, consider all these factors, and then based on my prompting, it will return a response within less than 50 seconds.
Wow, cool. There's a lot going on there. What are some of the primary databases that you have in there, out of curiosity?
Yeah. So there's a very well-known one, Our World in Data.
Mm-hmm.
They do a lot of stuff not only with climate and like so CO2, land usage. They also look at like COVID cases and GDP. So it's very interesting. It's not like a traditional database, but they have a lot of good graphs and a lot of good information, especially about like different products, right? So they have like looking at beef or like how even like beef that's grown like in a pasture versus like factory, they'll actually give that. So it gives like a baseline of like if you have something similar, it can like kind of like work off that. And then there's also like databases that include like climate. There's like a climate science like courses testing, and they like provide some of the logic for some things that might be more complicated, so that
Mhm.
it doesn't give you like a wrong answer. Obviously it's debatable, but yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'd love to see a demo of the product, but first I'd love to just hear about the reception of some of the people that have used it, some of your friends, some of the students at school, what they've thought and how it's affected their own decision making in life.
Yeah. So I was working on this app for, like I said, over a year. Um and it really turned from something that was isolated to like OpenAI. They have their own like GPTs, right? GPT store. And I moved it onto the Pickaxe platform, I believe in like April or May 2024.
Mhm.
And then I formally like released it to people to use and give me feedback for free for now. And the people's reactions is very positive, because there's a lot of I'm very interested. I'm very passionate about the climate. I've done a lot of like creating plans for countries to solve like problems, environment like e-waste and stuff. But even I like struggle to determine the environmental impact of products, right? So how can you assume like an average person is going to be able to do that, right? Without like extensive research, right? And there's a lot of people who have busy lives. They want to be sustainable, but it can be difficult, right? So a lot of these people, a lot of my friends who maybe not interested in sustainability, or were interested but didn't have the time, they said it saved them a lot of time, helped them choose quicker as well. Sometimes if you're choosing between two products, right, you're like you don't know what to choose between it. But maybe if one's more sustainable, that gives you a reason to choose it, right? So one of my friends was telling me that they kind of got rid of their like sometimes they struggle between choosing two just for like what looks cooler, right?
Mhm.
But being more sustainable, that's
Are
better.
there any changes in your life you've made since using the app?
Yeah.
Burger King over McDonald's now, or don't go to fast food altogether?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely learned about like which car brands, like some models are more sustainable. I've actually done so I did some research when I was at a summer program called Cosmos, like on my
Mhm.
app to see its reliability. And I was able to see, okay, yeah, like for example, according to the AI, Honda Odyssey is actually slightly more sustainable than the Kia Carnival, which is like kind of two minivan models. So that actually, I actually now I have a Honda Odyssey. I didn't recently buy that, but I feel good about that decision, right?
Cool.
Yeah. So
Well, do you want to give us a little tour of the product?
yeah, I would love to. Uh, okay, so this is Climate Assist website I have. This is the intro. You can actually see that this is my research that I did on the accuracy, and I compared it against models of top companies like Perplexity, Claude, GPT, Behind. And this you can see this orange line. This is like the average accuracy when when comparing vehicles for my app versus the average. There's only one tool that beats it slightly, but I would note that for these tools, sometimes they have ties and like there's more like intervention required versus my app is very like specialized for this matter and is it's an easier experience for people overall, especially if you're not experienced in how to use LLMs. So yeah, you can press try it out. And opening it up, you'll see that it'll give you 4 different options, like I said, right? This one is typically for, like, this is probably the one you're going to use the most. This one might be for if you want to ask about if something is recyclable and you're in your city maybe, or a general sustainability question. This one is for companies, like I said, and then this one is more of a problem solving, and I think it's kind of a more like experimental one that I have. But yeah, so you can press option 1, and then you go wait a second or two. Obviously, LMs can be fast, but might take some time. So this is a completely optional section. It's just to help with the output. You don't have to provide this if you don't want to, but well, it's like student, right? It can help because if, for example, like let's say like a country produces a lot of one type of meat, and then like so like if you're buying it, it's actually considered local versus like if you buy a different type of meat and you're living like far away, right? So it can really make a difference.
Yeah, if we're getting Kobe beef over in California, that's takes a long time to get it over here, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so do you want to compare 2 things, Mike? Give me an option. Or
how about getting a Domino's pizza delivered versus cooking a pizza at home?
So this is typically the format you do versus or comparing 2 things. It can compare more than 2 things, but 2 things is kind of where it's specialized. And you can see it's browsing using the Pickaxe browsing tool.
I love the pizza emoji too. That's cool.
Yeah. It tries to like, I try to make it so that it's readable. So yeah.
And now what's this confidence rate of 70%?
Yeah, so this is not like a mathematically calculated thing, but it's very helpful for telling you like how confident it is based on basically the amount of data it gets on each thing, right? So for example, if it's like McDonald's versus some like local like mom and pop like burger shop, right? They're not gonna have as much info about that mom and pop burger shop, but they'll have a lot on McDonald's. Therefore, it might be unfair. So I've actually prompted the climate assist to give you percent confidence ratio. So you can see the TLDR, it summarizes so that you have your recommendation straight up. So if you want to like make a decision fast, right? So for example, if you're in a line, right, you don't want to hold up the line, right? Yeah. So it gives you like the reasoning, right? But it's not black and white. It gives you the pros and cons of each side. And you can see that it's actually browsing, right? So this is an actual link to a website. And you can like click on it and see like it goes on all different types of
waste. Yeah. Seems like I should make the pizza at home rather than get some guy to drive it and deliver it in a box.
Yeah. I think people I mean, if you're like a sustainability expert, you might think that's like a pretty simple comparison, but for the average person, they may not know about that, right? They might think if you're going to buy your own pizza at home, maybe like your oven is less efficient or something. But still, driving is a much bigger impact than energy consumption of your oven, right? So yeah, it gives you, but see, it can tell you, like I said, right? Are some areas where your home cooking could be worse. So if you think that if you're in like a home that's like very like inefficient, right? Then you might want to go out, right? And obviously, so like it doesn't just say like, oh yeah, like it's better than cooking at home all the time. And then usually it gives you like a list of all the sources at the end, but not always. But you can see that you see the sources. But yeah, this is that. But
cool. Well, maybe let's do another one. Maybe
another one, yeah. You want to do a company comparison, maybe, or
yeah, company comparison.
Yeah, okay. Let's start another one. 4 uses left. Yeah. But yeah, this is because I'm in like a guest mode, like what you would see as a instead of like on my end, right? This is a public tool, right? So like you can search
And
up
then, yeah, if people, Brian, people want to sign up, they would get how much usage do they get?
unlimited usage. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm yeah. Right now, I'm really just trying to see how people are gauging the app and improvements. Like some people have told me that this is kind of like this can be kind of slow, right? They have to provide this each time.
mm-hmm.
So maybe there's some way to like store that information, or like just like you don't need to have that there. But yeah, so we'll like let's like okay. See, like for example, if you don't want to give your data, right?
Opt out.
We're not going to be going through your data, but you can opt out, right? It's not required. And it's not going to be like, oh, you got to give us your data before you go, right? We're not trying to do that. We're trying to help you, right? If you want to compare two companies, you have some companies that you think might be interesting to compare, Mike?
They could be any type of company.
Yeah, but they should really. I mean, they could. I think they should be in the same like industry, like someone would actually choose. Like, let's say like you're like I say like a business owner, and want to choose whether or not to buy my computer parts from AMD or NVIDIA. It's very big companies right now,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so like I said, you can provide some context. It's not only for individuals or consumers; it can also be for companies and communities. And there's actually one time, like a researcher, like they told me that it was really good for a second opinion
Mm-hmm.
on a matter because of its ability to find it. All right, NVIDIA,
Yeah,
I'm not dissing the company. It's just the sustainability app giving the response, but um, but yeah, you see how it's very decisive, as in it gives you like a definitive like answer, right? Obviously, like the real scenario is going to be more complicated, but um, if you're not given like an answer, like there's no the act, it's not very actionable. They're going to be like, oh, okay. And if you're not a climate expert, you might not be able to even like distinguish whether or not one's more sustainable than the other. So yeah, it gives you a confidence ratio, like I said previously, explanation, gives you all the important info.
So
Yeah.
let's try. Maybe you can do this one. In-N-Out and Chick-fil-A.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. And this is usable on phone as well. Um,
Because this is a decision I make all the time, and I think they're
yeah,
both
yeah,
great dinners.
yeah.
So
Individuals.
if one's more sustainable than the other one, I might have my deal breaker.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you see how this is 65%, right? This is like less information. Like
Mm-hmm.
AMD and NVIDIA are large companies. They train models, so they're told a lot that they need to report their data. But maybe Chick-fil-A, McDonald's not, or In-N-Out not as much.
Well, I don't think In-N-Out is, for example, a privately. It's not a publicly traded company, so they probably have a lot less information out there. So
Yeah,
In-N-Out
yeah.
use antibiotics.
You see, like they source the LinkedIn link. But yeah, part of this confidence ratio is also like how reliable the website is, how credible it is. So
Mhm.
like for example, like official Chick-fil-A website or like the Guardian is pretty high level, but LinkedIn or Reddit or Quora probably is not weighted as much, but still should be considered, right? And yeah, and also it gives it gives recommendations about like also like obviously like for example, if you're choosing between like beef and pork, right? Obviously, I love my burgers, I love my hot dogs, but that's meat at the end of the day. So like they're both not going to be the most sustainable option, right? Like if
Mhm.
you wanted to eat chicken, fish, or like plants, right? Tofu, that's like going to be more sustainable. So like I would wager what the recommendation would be like even though so something that's actually interesting is that pork on average does actually have a lower carbon footprint than beef per pound. So like they might say, oh, though pork is better in this scenario, you would, if you wanted to truly reduce your impact, you would go for chicken or something else. So it
Mhm.
doesn't only like choose between two things, not hyper focus as well. It also provides you with like an overhead view, right? Holistic. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, this is a great tool. It looks like we're out of uses, so we're gonna have to sign up.
Yeah.
And I think anybody listening out there should sign up too.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's easy. You can just go with Google. I actually already have an account, um, but yeah. And I would say, this app is useful for both people. I mean, like I said, right? Like I would consider myself like decently knowledge in sustainability, right?
mhm.
Um, and even I felt the need of this app to be created to help me. So imagine like people of any level of experience with sustainability or interest. They want that is you're going to be able to be more informed, make more
Mhm.
informed decisions, and
Yeah, it's a quick,
yeah.
easy way to get an expert opinion, a well-informed opinion.
And I think over time, you will be able to learn more about sustainability in general. You pick up some trends, right?
Mhm.
You pick up on trends and what's more sustainable, and reduce the impact of our current. Yeah.
Well, I
Um,
got to ask, do you have any plans to improve the app or add more to it in the future?
mhm.
You'd like to do?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think like this should really be possibly turned into some kind of like hub, like for sustainability, maybe. Like if you log into your maybe I'll work with the Pickaxe team on this possibly, storing some data so you don't have to provide it each time, or
Mhm.
like going off like make like so like for example,
Yeah,
like
remembering where you live, how old you
yeah,
are,
so
some of the
so
preferences you have. That
and
would be cool.
yeah, because if you like, let's say you want to opt out permanently, right? Then you
Mhm.
can say, then you don't have to say that each time. You can just jump in, right? Because I there are some times where even I like am using this app and it's not like although it's very fast, it's not like hyper fast, right? So I don't want to
Mhm.
like so sometimes
Yeah, you don't want to type in every
I don't want
time.
to I want to inconvenience myself or people are we have busy things to do, right? I understand.
Mhm.
Um, and I think one really thing that I didn't mention before that I really wanted to kind of prove with this app is not only like how AI can be used for sustainability, but also like trying to like say like I think AI is a net benefit for sustainability. Obviously, there's people are highlighting that massive amounts of the massive amounts of energy and water usage with training these models like GPT-4, and that definitely had a massive impact. But I think that being able to prove that individuals, communities, even like governments possibly can get advice to make sustainability to make more sustainable and less costly decisions, right? I think that can have a really big impact and kind of like mitigate some of those factors. So I think it's very important that we improve on the training side as well. But
Mhm.
my goal here is to prove that it is going to be a positive overall in the
Well, I
future.
love what you're doing, Brian. There's a lot of information out there about sustainability, but it's not at people's fingertips, and you're making it a little bit closer to everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for showing this off, Brian. That's. Is there anything else you want to show off about it or tell people?
Yeah. I would say that, obviously I would say try to yeah, I don't always trust the output, right? It's not
Mhm.
always going to be accurate. Like I said, it was 88% accurate when I tested with vehicles. Where I did actually a manual comparison using my like own knowledge of sustainability beforehand, and then I tested how climate history would do.
Mhm.
Um, so always be careful about that, especially if you're not just doing this for like an individual, if you're doing this for like business and stuff.
Mhm.
You know, uh, and yeah, I plan to when I go to college, I plan to learn more about AI behind the scenes, maybe build on this app and explore other ways for AI to help the environment. And yeah, if you've seen this
Cool.
video, if you want to try out the app, feel free to go to climateassist.com. And there's actually a hold on, let me see if I can go back to the landing page. There is actually a feedback form. Um, let's see here. Wait, is it here? Yeah, right here. If you click on it, you can tell me what you think about the app. If I had any problems, I can upload an image. And if you want to email me, you can email me at climateassist@gmail.com, or my Discord is Brian Chemister. We might have a Discord community in the future, possibly. But
Cool.
yeah,
Why did you pick Pickaxe over something else?
is this still recording, right? Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So the story of how I found Pickaxe was quite miraculous, I would say. One of my friends in my stats class, he actually graduated now. He actually like saw on the newsletter about like a web browsing app, like web browsing feature that was coming to because I was looking right now, because previously I was trying to move pick climate assist off of GPT platform, because people who can't spend $20 and don't have GPT plus is not able to use it. And I wanted to democratize sustainable decision making, right? So incentivize people to use it. So I was really trying to look for a platform where I could like I could have climate assist on, and I was having a hard time. So I actually reached out and spoke to Mike, I think a couple months ago, and they've actually been very receptive to my feedback, right, on web browsing and other features like that. We've been able to improve it. So I think, yeah, my app has actually been in the best state that it's been in terms of accuracy, usability, etc. So I really appreciate what Pickaxe is doing, and my friend who suggested it.
We appreciate having passionate, smart builders. It's really what powers the platform and the community. Well, thanks, Brian.